because you have given your faith and you have given time. And look at you now, you are aged and nothing has changed. Well, I think that the world paints us a picture sometimes. The world sometimes is ours for the taking. And the world sometimes threatens to take away from us much more than we're willing to give. And it seems as though we're going to have to determine how much we're going to give, how much we're going to lose, when we're going to lose, if we're going to lose. Okay, so a quick recap into Kenya. I think the Kenyans have decided that they have lost enough. And now it's do or die. I don't know whether I should say I'm enjoying what's happening in Kenya, or if I should say I'm a little surprised, or if I should say I need to just really wait. And maybe I think I just really want to wait to see what happens. But the succession at which, news keeps coming out of Kenya, one really is forced to pay all their attention to whatever is happening in Kenya. So here is what I think you know. The Kenyan president went to America. Yeah, hung out with the boys, had nice food, maybe genetically modified, shook hands with the men who carried out the policies that informed or influenced the world. And he had time. I even remember, I think she was a South African journalist. I can't quite remember. I don't know her nationality for certain, but by the accent, I probably could tell she was South African. He was interviewed and he had one or two things to say. And then he came back. We heard, well, we're going to be passing a finance bill, and all of Kenya. Initially, it looked like a few pissed off people who were not willing to just take what they heard. And the implication of what they heard would be increased cost to staying alive. So it looked like a few people just hit the streets. And then a lot more people started coming out, young people for that matter. I remember listening to a few young persons who were on the protest ground, and they said stuff like, look, we have nothing to lose. They've taken everything from us. And I met there was a young lady who said that she had a certain ailment, that she had a particular condition, and that she didn't have money to buy medication for her sickness. And she said she's on the protest ground because if she stays at home, she dies. She comes here, she may die. But at least she's going to die somehow, and she's choosing to be a part of the protest. I'm like, you guys are really, really persuaded by something. And then the president probably thought it was going to wear off after, 2 minutes? 1 week later, it didn't cease. It grew momentum. And then the president withdrew the finance bill. And Kenyans say, you know what? We've had long-standing problems. The finance bill is only one thing you have done. Now, there are other things you're going to have to do. Protest continues. The aim of the Kenyan protest, just if you're wondering, is to end bad governance in Kenya. And I have seen Nigerian arrogance, and I don't know what Kenyans mean when they say that the Kenyan politicians are arrogant. And I told you that I saw a video of a bunch of young men who said that they were going to come out and join the protest. And they beckoned, the listening public to also come out, join the protest. And the gentleman who, I don't know if he was the leader, but he spoke on behalf of the group, said that they were going to mount a resistance against the president. And the resistance would be greater than his ego. And I thought, what exactly is happening in Kenya that suddenly it's not just bad governance, it's the way politicians govern in Kenya. And I think a few days later, I played this in your hearing last week. This is the Kenyan president, and this is just by way of reminder, in case you may have missed it.
Accordingly, in keeping with the enhanced austerity measures we have committed to implement and align government expenditures within the budgetary implications of the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024, the following actions shall be taken with immediate effect towards the realization of the new budget. State corporations with overlapping and duplicating functions will be dissolved, resulting in the elimination of their operational and maintenance costs, and their functions will be integrated into the respective line ministries. Staff currently employed by the affected corporations will be transferred to ministries and other state agencies within government. The decision to fill the position of Chief Administrative Secretaries is hereby suspended. The number of advisors in government shall be reduced by 50% within the public service with immediate effect. budget lines providing for the operations of the Office of the First Lady, the spouse of the Deputy President, and the Prime Cabinet Secretary will be removed. Similarly, the budget provisions for confidential budgets in various executive offices, including my own office, have been removed, and the budget for renovations across government reduced by 50%. Henceforth, public servants who attain the retirement age of 60 shall be required to immediately proceed on retirement with no extensions to their tenure of service whatsoever. The purchase of new motor vehicles by the government is suspended for 12 months, except for security agencies, while a new policy on transport for public officers will be developed. All non-essential travel by state and public officers is hereby suspended. No state officer or public servant shall participate in public contributions or haramphase going forward. The Attorney General is hereby directed to prepare and submit legislation to this effect and develop a mechanism for structured and transparent contributions for public, charitable, and philanthropic purposes. These measures will be followed by changes in government that I will be making shortly.
Okay, so he did this after the protests wouldn't cease, and then a few days ago, he sacked the entire cabinet.
Other radical measures and programs to deal with the burden of debt, to explore raising domestic resources and revenues, expanding job opportunities, eliminating wastage and unnecessary duplication of a multiplicity of government agencies, and slaying the dragon of corruption, consequently making the government of Kenya lean, inexpensive, effective, and efficient.
All right. So that was a statement that he made just at the moment he dissolved the entire cabinet. And here is something that I found this morning. And honestly, it's either they're injecting a truth gas in the air, or Kenyans have made all politicians at this point start drinking truth serum. Because here is what a politician had to say.
Good evening, the people of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya of 2010, Article 1, Sub-Article 1, says all sovereign power belongs to the people and shall only be exercised in accordance with the Constitution. Today, I tender my resignation as a Cabinet Secretary in the government of Kenya. I want to offer my heartfelt apology to the people of Kenya for the greed, high-handedness, selfishness, arrogance, nepotism, tribalism, and all the bad things that we have done to you in the last 2 years. When we came to power, we called ourselves shareholders and decided that most Kenyans are not part of the government, are no longer part of the state, and do not have any human rights. We went ahead and received bribes from all over the world, and especially from Dubai. We bought very expensive watches, some as expensive as 1 million Kenya shillings equivalent in dollars. We bought belts worth 50,000 shillings, and we made sure that citizens know how expensive we have become. In a country where poor families cannot pay their children's school fees, we were wallowing in luxury. I want to sincerely apologize, and I want to say today that I am ready to give out all the bribes that I have received for the last 2 years, all the properties that I have now which can be traced back to the bribes that I received, will be surrendered to the state tomorrow, early in the morning. Should I get a chance to serve the people of Kenya again, I will stop the greed, I will stop the arrogance. But most importantly, I will be accountable to the people of Kenya. To the Police High Command, the Inspector General, who also tendered his resignation, I want to urge him to take Kenyans to all the graves where the bodies are hidden. It is time for accountability. Thank you, dear Kenyans.
All right. God alone knows what is happening in Kenya, but it's beginning to look even better than a movie. One may say this looks like a revival. This looks like an awakening of the Kenyan soul or the Kenyan spirit. But maybe words get in the way to fully comprehend what is happening in Kenya, because it just looks like it's only begun. The pace at which the Kenyans are pushing and matching and insisting says the world should wait and watch for what may become of Kenya. And so to all Kenyans, if you're in Nigeria, to all Nigerians in Nigeria, home and away, there is a day that comes, and to all men who would stand.
When the glory comes,
Glory.
it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. Welcome if you have just tuned in the sunny side. My name is Joyce. Okay. So we look to Kenya and we are happy for them. Then let's come back home and look at Nigeria and see what exactly will make us happy. I wish I could give you some promises, guarantee that the next conversation will make you happy. But maybe you would. Who knows?
Quality talk.
Intelligent conversations.
Always interesting.
So engaging.
Sometimes even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Ask everyone. Anyone.
My name's Joyce. It's 99.3 where Nigeria Info. It's 47 minutes past 12. Okay. So I want to take you back a few months, not too long ago, and I want to look at some of the things reported in the news. I wanted to have this conversation last week, but time didn't allow. So I want to lay a body of reports on you and then open up the telephone lines. But please bear with me. You're listening to Nigeria Info. You're on the sunny side. My name's Joyce. Okay, now let's begin. 2023, December. Dele Alake, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, says powerful Nigerians, quote and unquote, are behind illegal mining in the country. This happened when Alake appeared before the House of Representatives Committee on Solid Minerals to defend the ministry's 2024 budget estimate. The minister accused those behind illegal mining of sponsoring banditry. He says, one pernicious discovery that we have made is that a lot of these banditry, terrorism, and insecurity that we associate with this sector are actually sponsored by illegal miners. End quote. All right. So I'm going to come to this year. I think it was June. Festus Keyamo. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has expressed his displeasure on the activities of private illegal aircraft operators who are engaged in hard drug transportation, as well as money laundering in the country. He added that this illegal charter operation was already thriving within the aviation sector. He expressed readiness to tackle the perpetrators. Okay, so I want to go to, I found this particular letter on Twitter, and it's a letter from the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority dated 16th April 2024, and I'm going to read it in your hearing, and hopefully I'll just look at the core of the matter. From the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Okay, so then they addressed it to all aircraft operators, other aviation operators. The background, and I quote, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, in receipt of a letter from the Office of the National Security Advisor reporting a sighting of an unknown aircraft flying over the presidential villa, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority wishes to refer to part something in numbers of 2023, which states that, quote, no person may operate an aircraft in a prohibited area or in a restricted area, the particulars of which have been duly published, except in accordance with the conditions of the restrictions or by permission of the state over whose territory the areas are established, end quote. Any such violations shall be liable to sanction, prosecution, or both by the authority. In addition, the intruding aircraft may risk being met with dire consequences. So I think we can just work with that. And I think this gets to give some credibility to the statement from Festus Keyamo that there are some guys, maybe you're going to call them big boys, who are in Nigeria. And the only reason you'll call them big boys, okay, no, maybe in your colloquial term, you call them big men, is because they have money. Money how? I guess matter for another day. Yeah, maybe not today. But now you have Alake, minister in the mine industry or mine sector, complaining about some strong Nigerians. You have aviation minister pointing fingers to some strong Nigerians. Okay. Then I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning and I read it this morning. And I think I'm a little surprised. And you may wonder, so why are you surprised this isn't new? Well, I'm thinking, if the state has the state's resource and men who have authority and have state's resource that backs up the authority, sometimes I just want the job to be done. I don't know that we want to sit back and hear the Navy tell us about a disappointment, a difficulty that they're having. I think I want to hear the difficulty, really, indeed, if there is any difficulty to be said. But this thing where, the minister says, we're having this challenge, and I'm the civilian, and I don't have the color of authority, and I'm waiting for the men who have authority to do something about something. I wonder, if the Nigerian government wanted to go after someone who is criminal, whom they know by virtue of the laws of the state, by every moral and ethical law, to be a corrupt person, the Nigerian government knows what to do. You need not tell the Nigerian government how to execute judgment, to carry out justice. But here, so that's the thing. I'm short of words. I'm not even sure how best to structure the language because I'm waiting for something to happen. And so this morning I wake up, and here is the headline by The Punch. Elites frustrating efforts to stop foreign illegal miners. And this is the military. I'm thinking the military has authority. Now the military knows what to do. But, so what's happening? I may need to read to you what's in the news. And I have just about a minute before commercial break. Okay, so let's just go from this commercial break and come back. And if you have read it already, well, good for you, because we're about to talk about this. And, maybe you can attempt to fill up the gaps because there are too many gaps and not enough words to fill them up with, at least not from my own end. And I'm hoping that the conversation this afternoon can help with understanding the processes and maybe understanding when and how the Nigerian government intends to deal with these issues that they themselves have identified. And they themselves know the consequence of the power in the hands of a few over the many who now are driven into hard-biting poverty. It's like now in Nigeria, the average Nigerian can expect to be born in difficulty, struggle in that difficulty, die in poverty. It's almost a guarantee at this point. We're off on a break. We'll be right back.
Quality talk.
Intelligent conversations.
Always interesting.
So engaging.
Sometimes even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Ask everyone. Anyone.
The Chief Defense Staff General Christopher Musa said on Monday that elites in the country are frustrating the efforts of security agencies to arrest illegal miners. This was as the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Solid Minerals, Jonathan Wewe, said the country was losing $9 billion annually to illegal mining. He spoke at the investigative hearing organized by the committee in Abuja. Now, so let's just go to this part, and I quote, Talking of illegal mining, I'm going to talk about how the military sees it. There are so many other stakeholders that I want to talk about. From our various operations and the statistics that we have, we notice that, first of all, the framework guiding mining in Nigeria is good, very good. It needs to be strengthened. Why do I say so? 2018, during the last administration, there was a ban on illegal mining in South Africa and Nigeria, which even established a gold mine zone. Despite the ban, mining licenses were being issued to people to mine in that zone. So the strengthening of the institutional framework is very key. He called for tough sanctions for those involved in the act, saying anybody caught in this illegal mining must be dealt with decisively. and examples should be made publicly for others to know. The third aspect we noted is poverty. In these areas where this illegal mining takes place, the people are poor. Virtually lack of education is also part of it. Most of them that we get have no formal education. Also at the hearing, the representative of the Nigerian Army, Colonel Tajuddin Lamidi, said the Nigerian Army had arrested 387 individuals in connection with illegal mining. And then what was further added to that, and I quote, "A disturbing issue which makes the investigative hearing very critical is the fact that various mining communities in Nigeria live in agonizing conditions economically and socially, arising from years of neglect and various deprivations and severe environmental degradation, air and water pollution arising from unsafe mining practices by illegal miners." Further quoting, "The impact of the unprecedented illegal mining across Nigeria has been devastating as farmlands, crops, economic trees are not only destroyed, but mining activities, the economic trees are not only being destroyed by mining activities, but reduced their benefit and value to the residents." So I think I want to stop there, except that there's also a part where it was reported that when they arrest these illegal miners and hand them over to authorities, before you know it, a call is passed across and the person who's been arrested gets released. Okay, so the rest pretty much is what you already know, because I think I've just given you the crux of the matter. The consequence of illegal mining and the fact that the military, even the military, would report elites frustrating efforts to stop foreign illegal miners. So it does quite appear, at least one is forced to assume, that Nigeria is at the mercy of a few. A few who the military are frustrated by. So remember, Aviation Minister raised a complaint about some Nigerians, a few Nigerians somewhere. Mining Solid Minerals raised concerns about a few Nigerians, unknown Nigerians. Fellow Nigerians, welcome to Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Let's talk about what happens when the government fails at the control, the proper adjudication, arrest, prosecution of a few, the consequence thereof. And now, that could honestly be a narrow way to look at it. To be honest with you, I admit it, because I really don't know the details. I just know what's reported in the news. And maybe there are many things that we have come to know that we have now, I think, we resign fate to, because we say, well, we know it, we expected the government to do something about it, and nothing happened. I do not know if this is one of many of those type cases, but we are full aware the consequence of corruption. And I think the topic this afternoon should be what happens when the government fails to do what the government should do. It's 1 p.m. on the clock. When we come back on the other side of the hour, I'll open up the telephone lines and I'd like to hear your view on the the information I've shared. I'd like to know what you think needs to happen. Maybe I'd like to know if you think something can happen. We'll be right back. You're listening to Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce.
It's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. You are listening to the news updates this hour. 190 Nigerians are back from the United Arab Emirates. The repatriated people were received at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by a combined team of government officials led by NEMA. According to a statement signed by Bashir Gadga on behalf of the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, the returnees have been profiled and documented by the relevant agencies on their return to Nigeria. Meanwhile, going forward, for Nigerians to apply for a UAE visa, they would need to be aware of some facts. Applicants are expected to have a valid document verification number from the website proof of bank accounts, at least 6 months bank statements with a minimum balance of $10,000, round-trip flight tickets, and proof of hotel booking confirmed and paid. Not only that, the visa fee must be paid by credit card at the UAE Visa Center in Abuja, Nigeria. For Nigerians residing abroad, the visa fee can be paid at the nearest UAE Visa Center. On Monday, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the UAE government finally lifted the visa restrictions imposed on Nigerians with immediate effect. The National Association of Nigerian Virtually Impaired Students, UNILAC chapter, wants equal opportunities for virtually impaired persons based on their skills and ability to perform. President of the association, Felix Areo, says the federal government needs to put some policies in place to ensure that virtually impaired people are taken care of. He says one of these policies is empowering and integrating persons with impairment into the formal sector. Ariel said this at an advocacy event that took place at the University of Lagos tagged Make a Difference. The project lead of Make a Difference event, Oduniyi Ayomide, implored virtually impaired persons, especially students, to exceed societal stereotypes. And Rwandan President Paul Kagame is on course to extend his 24-year rule by another 5 years in a landslide victory. Partial results announced by the Electoral Commission show he has 99.2% of the vote so far, with about 79% of ballots counted. The 66-year-old again faced no meaningful opposition, with leading figures banned. Elections for 27 special seats meant for women, young people, and people with disabilities will take place on Tuesday. That's the News Update Lagos. I am Yvonne Okhaifo. You are listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info. The Sunny Side with Joyce. Stay here.
Different ideologies.
I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. My daughter is giving me hell. What happened? She always go out with friends. I put her in a place of where she's learning a trade. I call the woman and say, please, see this girl as your stepdaughter. I want you to take charge of this girl. But this girl is giving me headache.
Different perspectives.
When she's marketing, I ask her if you are my mother or you are not my mother, so that I will really know. She said she's the one that born me, only that when she gave birth to me, that I'm wicked, that I give her a soft time during my labor, that my labor do her for 5 days.
And she hates you for that?
He hates me for that.
But it's not your fault that her labor took 5 days.
Share your views on the sunny side here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Yeah. I've been so reluctant to talk about this UAE thing. Well, that's also because there's a moving story around the middleman between the Nigerian application, the Nigerian who's applying, and the UAE country. I hear that there is a middleman. I'm just properly yet to fully confirm that, and it's because of that middleman that the news, if you've been paying attention to it the last less than 24 hours. So I just quickly googled it. UAE hikes visa fee to 640,000 naira. Nigerians cry foul. So following this lift on Nigerian passport holders on Tuesday, the United Arab Emirates has demanded that applicants pay a sum of 650,000 Nigerian naira as non-refundable application fee. Who's speaking for this country? I don't have the energy to really sit through that conversation, but yeah, here we are. How much is your minimum wage again? So 2 things are happening here. Just really stiff restriction. Well, it's not, they're not going to call it, you can't quite call it restrictions anymore, but stiff demands so that you are just dissuaded. They don't really want you there. You're not really what they're looking for. 640,000 non-refundable. We'll talk about that later. And yeah, with a bank balance of $10,000, we just did a quick rough calculation. It's about 16 million naira bank balance. All right. Why are you? Where are you going? Why are you going? Well, look, I guess there are many reasons, and there shouldn't be limitations, really, for citizens of the world. But I guess, being a Nigerian. So while that's going to be a pending conversation, and maybe as much as I'm too reluctant to talk about it, I may eventually have to talk about it, maybe sometime today, depending on what time affords us. But let's get into this conversation. You've heard my initial introduction, and yeah. 00201-2770-993 and 0201-465-7190 on Nigeria Info. And here I'm speaking about the men with authority, men with state backing, men who are manning sectors, speaking of illegal Nigerians. And this is not the first time we've heard references made to a few Nigerians, a very few Nigerians who exploit the many. And we haven't quite seen much of it. We see EFCC parade small boys around, like, petty criminals. We see the EFCC go. The EFCC attempted a move recently, which honestly, and I want to really give them this credit before they earn it, the outcome between the EFCC and Yahaya Bello. I'm really waiting for it. I want to assume something is going to come out. But so far, nothing has come out. And the many other stories that where you know something, where the news somehow comes to the Nigerian, and the Nigerian government is aware that the Nigerian knows, and nothing happens. Let's talk. How are you? Welcome to the sunny side. My name's Joyce. What's your name? Oh, can you hear me? Turn off the volume of your radio set. It's good to have you here. Thank you very much for calling.
Yeah, thank you. So,
right. Okay. All right, good. Go ahead.
So I want to start with the Kenyan issue you brought up. All right, there are so many facets of the issue. What's happening to? If you want to draw a correlation, all right, if you have to look at Kenyan, right, they have just about 43 tribes in Kenya, right, which is easy when there are little bits of the population is not much, and it's easy to govern. It's easy to pinpoint where the problem is coming from. You understand? But now we come back to Nigeria. We have over 300 and something tribes with over 200 and something million people. There's too many power play happening in Nigeria. Too many. Okay. You understand? There's subsection of power on power on power. You try to block this, another person comes around to say, no, this is what it is. Until we start hitting things on the neck, like from where it's coming from itself, we can't get anywhere. You understand? Okay. So
No. Go ahead, real quick. Conclude your thoughts real quick, because the telephone lines are ringing.
The military saying this, it's still the same thing, that it boils down to the fact that too many powerful people in Nigeria are trying to control everything. You understand? So if you now go back to
but are these powerful people presumed to be above the law? Is there a law who's supposed to implement the laws?
There are subsections to this power. I don't want to go out of the whole thing you described, because we are talking about Nigeria. But if we have to look outside of Nigeria also, there are also a lot of power that are interested in Nigeria because of the resources. Look at Kenya. They don't have as much resources as we have in Nigeria. Who is causing the whole Boko Haram thing? Like they said, it's from somewhere outside. The news that came up, like some people are funding it from outside. So too many powers that play in Nigeria that are interested in Nigeria itself.
Okay, so that's why our situation will not change.
Exactly.
All right.
So if this was being supported by the other faction, then the United States is interested. They come in and support this other faction with weapon, with everything. So it's a lot over there. We produce weapon, but we get weapon being chipped in every time. So where is it coming from? Okay. You understand?
Thank you.
We have to think about these things. Thank you.
I appreciate you bringing that to the fore. So let's talk about it. You're on the sunny side. It's good to have you here.
Hello, Joyce. How are you?
Thank you very much for calling. Turn off the volume of your radio set.
I'm out of there. Thank you.
Good to have you.
Work.
Good.
How was your night?
Thank you. It was good.
This is Marcus Woman.
Thank you for calling.
Me, I will not give an excuse for anybody. Because if you don't have anything in your cupboard, you can be able to solve what is going on in your country. And if you cannot solve it as human, you leave that place for another person to come and do it. That's it. Whether we are too much before you come into that power, we are too much. Our population is too much. Whether other people have interest in it I don't care. I don't want to make excuse for anybody. If you know the thing is the power that be is too much for you, you will leave that place. Simple as ABC. That is it. So I don't. That excuse, I'm not buying it from anybody. And Joyce, so have you listened to Amechi what he said recently?
I'm not.
I didn't even know that he went to school of law since all this time. Oh, that's what he was saying.
Okay, so
I said,
what did I miss?
He said why he's not saying anything. He said no matter what you tell Nigeria, he said Nigeria cannot act. He said you people we are complaining that Kenya is acting. He said there is nothing. He said there is no
I haven't seen that.
Politician in Nigeria that is not a thief. He said Nigeria don't know that one. He said well, all we can say is 4 years. He will soon go. 8 years. He will soon go. He said we will not do anything. I just listened to that video and it's like I should be weeping.
Can someone tag me on Twitter? So I haven't seen it. Okay,
yes,
well, thank you.
Let me send it to you.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Thank you. The Sunny Side. Welcome to Nigeria Info. Nigeria is supposed to be better, but yeah.
Hello, Joyce.
Good to have you. Good afternoon to you.
My name is Onyemuwa.
Thank you very much for calling. Thank you.
If America said that all we Nigeria should come back to America and America will come back to Nigeria, in next 6 years, we will start praying in churches in America to come back to Nigeria.
Okay.
There was a time I was in university, 200 level. We were studying Nigeria resources and trade. There is no single soul in the class that day that did not cry. We have over 300 mineral resources that can feed the whole of Africa. One of the mineral resources, they call it glass stones. I've said it already before. That glass stone is what they use for your mirror. Joy, you want to see your face, I'm a fine girl. Your mirror, your car, anything mirror. That stone is Boku for Ondo. Now we have people that have make covenant with their blood that it is a mistake for me and you to be born in this country. Somebody say if they push Nigeria, they will not react. We will react, and it's very soon. Do you know what will make us react? It's hunger, and it's loading. You are taking crude oil in Niger Delta. The citizens don't have good water to drink. And out of 20 people that they give oil license, no single Niger Delta among them. I keep on saying this one. But you are taking your gold, you are sharing your money. The gold in the north is for the northerner. But the Niger Delta oil is not for them. And you don't want people to separate. You don't want Biafra nation. You don't want to do a nation. Yet you can't do what is right. We will force the government. I will be among the finance that will finance the protest that is coming.
What do you think about what do you think about state autonomy, real quick? But you know, the president now has said, well, yeah, maybe this is something worth considering.
My dear sister, anything they do in the Aso Rock and in National Assembly, it is not for the common man.
Okay.
It is not the government that will tell us that this thing they want to do is good. It is with the citizens. Return that fuel to 18 naira or 120. We will clap for you. We will dance naked for you.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for calling. The Sunny Side. Welcome to Nigeria Info. Are you alive?
Hello. Hello, good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon to you. Thank you very much for calling.
Yeah, this is the merchant man. Joyce,
welcome,
Onyemuwa just succinctly put, and the other man that spoke before, Market Woman. Like I said yesterday, the major problem with our people is empty-headedness and laziness. You see people who don't have anything upstairs because of the fact that they can never, ever use their heads to construct something that would be meaningful to their people. All of them scramble for power. At the end of the day, you give them power, they can't use it for anything. Just like Onyemuwa said, I listened to particular time Martin Nandekano was saying something. He was telling Nigerians that if the issue of regionalism or even the independence of Biafra is allowed, that he was not asking for outright that Nigeria can take the oil, but that freedom for a man to use his head and better his life is what he's asking for. If you look at our people, nobody is interested in constructing anything, in providing anything, in making life meaningful. It's all about going to Abuja every end of the month to share money. Okay, this money that are shared, what is it used for? For looting. They loot, and they loot. Now, if somebody try to use the oil under his feet in the east, because we have been stratified between Niger Delta and the southeast, the stratification is part of whatever anybody is doing in order to continue to hold us where we are. The other caller said something about external influence. That is right. That external influence has really manipulated the way we do things in our political ways. Okay, the goat in Zamfara. I was listening to a particular gubernatorial aspirant or candidate. I think he's a governor now. He declared 9 trillion naira. Where did that money come from? Is it not from the same issue of illegal mining? They mine their own and it is their own. But if anybody does anything, it will be tagged illegal refinery. They will be hunted for. They will be destroyed and all that. The only thing that will make us understand where we are is if we can come together and decide that we will use our heads to better our lot. This issue of working in directionless movement will never end from generation to generation. The problem of our people is laziness and lack of implementation and utilization of our God-given brain. Our people have been so docile, so lazy, that we can't think, we can't constructively reason in order to better our lot. We continue to do things in a way that nobody is looking at the resources that God has given to us. Only a few. That few continue to preside. You know, they say politics is authoritative allocation of values. People, external influence is distributing and allocating our God-given values. If only we can think inwardly that we as a people can either revert back to regionalism, you will see things start working. So to me, the problem we have is our greed, our docility, our empty-headedness. God bless you, my sister.
Thank you very much for calling. And I think this is even, maybe, I don't know, whether we need to talk about this whole state autonomy, because I'm curious to find out whether you think that in any way allows for the prosperity of individual states as against what's used to be obtainable. Nigeria Info, the sunny side, how are you? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm sorry I cannot hear you. You'll have to call back the sunny side. Good afternoon. We're Nigeria Info. Thank you so much for calling.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Thank you for calling. Tell us your name real quick. Go ahead.
You have a man on the line. I'm calling you from Ekwe.
Good to have
you. It's painful, to hear these kind of things, from Kenya, who we are supposed to be the big brother for. The way you said we are happy for them, it's as if two big brothers, two brothers, one elder, the other one junior, who has two giants, standing on their head. And then the junior brothers has fought his way out. And then the big brother, with the same giant on his head, is telling the junior brother, "Oh, I'm happy for you." The chief of defense staff, there are some things that he should not be saying, even if they are the truth, because it's kind of ridiculous, that office. I remember the issue of this Okoma recently, when a traditional ruler, was kept, in the military detention for a month or more. If you are saying there are some elites frustrating the effort of the military, are they above the law? Are they above government? The same thing Dele Alake said at a point. Who are these people? Can't their name be mentioned? Can they be arrested? Those are questions that I don't really know the kind of rhetoric some of these political leaders are trying to give out, to the people. And again, this question, the legitimacy of some people who come into power, because I think if you come into power free, fair, and credible, and in terms of if it's appointment, if you come to that office, if you are appointed based on merit, of which nobody was, struggling for you to be appointed into that office. I think when you get into such office, you will do the needful. So it's very painful, this kind of rate, because if he's saying this, it means throughout his tenure as the chief of defense staff, nothing will happen to this elite. If you can't fish them out and arrest them and bring them into prosecution today, in the next 4 years, if he remains in that office, nothing is going to happen. That is what he's trying to say to us. And again, I listened to that clip you played from that guy in Kenya who said they collected bribe, from around the world. Imagine, is it that some countries like these countries stealing our mineral resources are bribing our government officials? It might be. So I don't really know. My quarrel with Nigerians is that we don't know how to fight when it's time to fight. Number one, we don't know when to fight, and we don't know how to fight the fight. That is my quarrel with Nigerians, because if a fight is targeted, not at BRT bosses, not at critical government infrastructures, I'll be happy if it's targeted, at some particular individuals, and targeted at them leaving this country. For instance, if we are going to, I don't want to go into how I should, because it will be as if I'm inciting the public. But we should choose our fight and how to fight our fight. Because the rate at which we are going, to be honest with you, I don't believe in the next 10, 15, 20 years anything might change.
All right.
And it's unfortunate that we have this kind of people at the ends of affairs who you are giving the power to bite, you are giving the teeth, and you are telling me that some people are holding your teeth. It's unfortunate. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. You're on the sunny side. Welcome to Nigeria Info. It's so good to have you on the conversation.
Hi. Good afternoon, guys.
Afternoon to you. Thank you very much for calling. What's your name? I cannot hear you. I think your connection is really bad.
Are you hearing me now?
Okay, let's try. Your voice is okay. Let's try. Okay, no, it's bad. Can you just please hang up and call back? I apologize. Yeah, please. We're going to quickly go off on a break. When we come back, there's too much to talk about. You can already tell. But it's leaving us with a multifaceted type question. It's the stability of Nigeria, I guess, on one hand. Then it's the power of the authority in Nigeria and the men who are put to man those offices where they have legal and state authority to implement or enforce authority. And here we're being told by them about the challenges that they face. But they have authority, we don't.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Who says you can't have it all with one play?
I got that defined boy. You have just won yourself.
Congratulations.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. One player, don't talk to 2 players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira.
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. You want to tell you, well done. You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big. From 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 #3#. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 #3#. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
The effective tournament, the Nationals, is coming. August 12 in Lagos. Witness the brightest minds from across the country in a battle of intellect and eloquence.
Have you ever wondered if controlling resources will be the key to dismantling?
Yes, a child has not been properly academically satisfied.
Has such person not also get experience, like your fifth point?
Experience fierce competition.
Peace cannot be kept by force. It's not because there's natural resources there.
Persuasive arguments.
I believe that through a balanced approach to religion and education.
Don't you think that such a person is old enough to decide?
And innovative thinking.
By 1985, the poverty level was below 46%.
If they don't have money for tuition, are you saying they are not going to be accountable?
Whether you're a debater or a spectator, mark your calendars for August 12, 2024. I beg to differ. The Nationals in Lagos, Nigeria. Get ready to be part of history. For sponsorship and other inquiries, call Lagos Larry Griffin 0706 827 1163, Shola Kolade 0907 173 3835, or send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. I beg to differ students debates competition. The Tournament of Champions.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
We're back. 99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. My name is Joyce. And just before I go back to the telephone lines, I want to share with you something happening with One Academy. There's One Play Money, and I have to quickly remind you about that one. On your phone, start 347.
Yes, that 880, that 3 hash.
There you go. You play, you win 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah, good. Take your chance and good luck. Okay.
Lagos, like she said, still happening here on Nigeria Info. It's oneplay.ng, and they are making it a rave. There's winnings every day. There's money to be won Monday to Friday, and on Friday there's a jackpot. There's also money to be won weekend. How do you do any of this? You just go to the website, which is www.oneplay.ng. That's www.oneplay.ng, or just dial the code *347 *880 *3 hash and play with as little as 500 naira. That's all you need, Lagos. You can win money on the Money Crossfire, WhatsApp Lagos, Game On Shows, Sunny Side, and you could also win money on the weekend. And guess what? If you've been playing since Monday and you've not won, well, know that you would be having the chance to win this Friday, because it's the jackpot Friday, and playing during the week just automatically qualifies you for the weekly jackpot. Now, your chances of winning are still the same whether you play on the website, which is www.oneplay.ng. That's number 1play.ng, or you dial the code *347 *880 *3 hash. Lagos, start playing so you don't get told stop playing outside. Remember to play responsibly. I wish you good luck. If you're under 18, this is not for you. I have news for you, but not this one.
All right, so tell us about the academy then.
Let me see. So Lagos, I believe that kids are already rounding off with school session.
Rounding off? I thought you just started.
No.
Oh, really?
No, they are finished. Everybody's getting ready to go home. My sister is very excited about that part.
Okay.
So, I know that kids are rounding off with the session. So, the long holiday is here. And Peter Rufai presents you with the perfect opportunity for your kids to discover and nurture their innate talents. Now, the Peter Rufai Summer Camp is here again, and it is bigger and better and well loaded with sports like football, basketball, and lots more. Now, your preferred summer program promises to be an unforgettable and enriching experience. It's going to be filled with excitement, endless possibilities that will boost your kids and make them stand out from the crowd. So instead of staying at home and just playing away, well, they can bring all that energy and come to the Peter Rufai Summer Camp. All right, you can register today and enjoy all the drills and skills and thrills with the true legends of the game, Dodo Mayana himself and other experienced coaches. Parents aren't left out as well. That's the part that's exciting. It's going to be fun. Peter Rufai Summer Camp starts on 22nd of July to the 3rd of August. Okay, 22nd of July to the 3rd of August at City Pride School, Amuwo Odofui, and Mind Builder School, Omole Phase 2, Isheri, Lagos. So it's 2 locations. City Pride School, Amuwo Odofui, and Mind Builder School, Omole Phase 2. Registration is open to boys and girls between the ages of 3 and 17 years. Okay, that's 3 to 17 years. So if your kids fall under this category, well, start making inquiries. Okay, for inquiries and sponsorship, you can contact them on 0801 1230 1652. That's 0811 0811 230 1652. Okay, you can also call the number 0810 058 0744 0810 058 0744, or just write them an email at starroofofficial@gmail.com. That's spelled STARUF official@gmail.com. And your child's well-being and safety is obviously our utmost priority here. It's the Peter Rufai Summer Camp, and it's bringing the best in young stars to the fore. It's powered by Star Roof Sports Development and supported by Cool FM, Nigeria Info FM, and Wazobia FM.
The Sunny Side, 99.3 Nigeria Info, and welcome to all of you. Let's see, what else do I have? Do I have money to give away?
Well, you do have money to give away, but this is about kids that can spell. Those ones that can't play football well, I believe that they can spell. But Spell Africa International is bringing something to you, okay, for parents and kids. Please listen up. Spell Africa International is presenting the Leaders Competition 2024. It's the 15th edition, and it's also the national grand finale. All right, it's featuring qualifiers across states in Nigeria. When is this happening? It's going down 25th to 27th July 2024. Venue is Chosen International School, Lekki, Lagos State, and there are amazing prizes to be won. Okay, so you do not want to be left out of this. We have first prize 500,000 naira, second prize 300,000 naira, and third prize 200,000 naira, and that's for secondary school categories. Now we also have prizes for primary school categories. Okay, first prize is 400,000 naira, second prize is 250,000 naira, and third prize is 150,000 naira. For more details, you could call the numbers 0907 002 7521, 0907 002 7521, or 0813 111 6589, 0813 111 6589 for more inquiries. Schools, parents, kids, you do not want to miss out on this. There's money to be won here, and it's also showing your kids talent in spelling. It's the Spell Africa 15th edition, and they would love to see you there.
We're back to the conversation. All right, so the Sunny Side, Nigeria Info. Lovers of Nigeria. So here I have presented before you a quagmire, a difficulty that even you may appear to have a solution to, except, do you have a solution? Let's hear you talk about this that I've shared with you. If you have just tuned in, welcome. It's about this very small club of a few Nigerians who run Nigeria as a business. And so, yes, I have shared with you a report out of 2023 December, Dele Alake, Minister of Solid Minerals, saying a few Nigerians are running Nigeria. And they are really the ones, corrupting the sector in itself, and the monies or the proceeds from their corrupt dealings they use to finance terrorism. The government is aware. Dele Alake knows it. He just got into power, 2 minutes ago. He knows it. The government is aware. Festus Keyamo was in the news, and he spoke about this very few Nigerians who are running Nigeria as a business. And he says, well, he's going to do something about them. We're yet to see what he will do about it, but I guess it's a follow-up news article, the one I shared with you that emerged this morning, where the military tells us about their frustration, how they have become frustrated by a few Nigerians running Nigeria as a personal business. Nigeria is their conquest. And here you are. You're talking taxes, the increment in taxes. You're talking bags of rice, the cost of it, petrol, fuel subsidy. Here you're nagging the government about what the government has to do in order to make life convenient, bearable for the common Nigerian. But then there are, this few group, like a few brave men, a few corrupt men, a few invisible men, a few powerful men, of men. They're still flesh and bone. And those in authority with a power and state backing tell you their difficulty. And so here we're supposed to talk about it, I guess. I want to find out what you think needs to happen, if something can happen. On the sunny side, we're talking. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. Thank you very much for calling. Tell us your name. Go ahead.
This is Maji from Ibejuleki.
Thank you, Mazi, for calling.
Yeah. The Nigerian politicians always use that term, few people.
Okay.
The problem we have is that all of them are corrupt. When you are corrupt, you can't fight anybody. That's why they've come to give us excuses. There's a few people that are causing this problem in Nigeria. There's not few people. It's them that are causing it. When he left, another person will come in and tell you what the guy that left have done. That's the normal thing. And people are saying Nigeria doesn't want to stand up. Let them, at least history will write us right, because we are the first people to do coup in this country, fight civil war. Do so many things in Africa. So what happened in Nigeria is that these guys have caged us with ethnicity, tribalism, and we are buying the market. They are selling a high product, and it's moving in Nigeria. When you want to stand up, they say it's because you come from so place. So Nigerians are eager to change their country, but these politicians, they keep on giving us excuses. There are few people. Who is the few people? It's you. If you know the government is not good, you resign. You say, I can't work where corrupt people are. So I show you an example. So that's my take this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for calling. I appreciate. Look, you're on the sunny side. It's so good to have you join the conversation. Can you hear me?
Hello. Good afternoon, Joyce.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for calling.
This is Malik speaking, Joyce.
Welcome, Malik.
Yeah, Joyce. A situation where you have no love in a country, no matter how you bring the best person, that country will not work. Joyce, you have somebody that's from a certain area that went to go and build a university in another country. And you're from your own community that are suffering. You did not build primary school or secondary school. You built a university in another country. Choice. Look, there is a car that produces a gear called CVT. It's a kind of gear system that once you get to 100,000 kilometers or 110, it must break down. The other company that perfected their own, the same CVT, but the other people that started it must break down. Look, Choice, Nigeria, when I said Nigeria is designed to fail, this is why I'm abusing my country. I have the opportunity to leave Nigeria. I insist to stay. I fought against Jonathan government. Even when I benefited from it, I was against it. But I regretted. Look at how dollar is like John Benson. Dollar is now 157 or 1580. It's going back to 1819. It's going back. The oil they are tapping, we had lesser crude oil and lesser oil well when Abacha was the president. Yes, we could meet OPEC quota. Now we have more oil well, more companies. We cannot even meet OPEC quota. And we cannot even ask questions why. We have seniors SAS. We have senior accountants. You will hear that our chief accountants stole how many billion. Nobody could question them. Olumiyowa, I am sorry, the king of protest is the president. Nobody can stop protest in Nigeria.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. It's good to have you join the conversation. Hello, how are you? Turn off the volume of your radio set, please.
Hello?
Yes, I'm with you. Thank you so much for calling. I can hear
Yeah,
you.
good
Please go
afternoon,
ahead.
Lady J.
Good
How are you
afternoon to
today?
you. I'm well. Thank you.
Emeka is my name from South Lake.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening in Nigeria is akin to what was happening in Kenya or is happening in Kenya. The only difference is that the people of Kenya have decided to wake up from their slumber or self-induced reverie, just like the same kind of reverie most African nations are currently experiencing. Nigeria being a case study in this instance.
Mm-hmm.
Is instead of what we have, if you put together the statement of the Minister of Aviation, the statement of the Minister of Solid Minerals, and that of the Chief of Defense Staff, it only points to one thing: state capture. It means that a few individuals, so-called elites, have captured the entire institutions of the state.
Okay.
They have further subjugated Nigerian people and their weaponized poverty. These people, because they have compromised all the institutions of the state, they appear to be above the law. That is why even when lists of some terror sponsors were handed over to the past administration, hitherto, nothing was done about it. And the same...
Yeah, but here where the authorities, where the men in authority, the men with authority and state backing are telling the public of their difficulty confronting these few men.
You know why?
So,
you know why?
Yeah.
You know why they could come up with those lame excuses? Because they are part of that clique. They are part of those few political elites that have held this country by the jugular for years. And when you live in a glass house, you can't throw stones, Joyce. Because the people the masses expect you to fight are your cronies and friends. These are people who also have information about you. They have your file. They know areas where you have compromised as well. And don't forget that Nigeria has not had leadership for a couple of years. In recent times, we've not had leadership. We've only had rulers, oligarchs, plutocrats. And this oligarchy and plutocracy has given rise to capistocracy, where you have the least qualified people in power. This narrative is not going to change. This criminal structure is not going to change.
I may have lost you. I think I have. Hopefully you make it back. The Sunny Side, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Nigeria Info. So good to have you join the conversation.
Yeah, good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon to you. Thank you very much for calling.
Yeah, Marco from First Hand.
Great, please.
Yeah, obviously, contrary to the opinion of some people that these people are part of, in as much as their hands are not clean, the fact remains that their hands are tied. As far as those circumstances or the subject matter we are discussing is concerned.
Okay.
The fact remains that it's a cartel made up of the traditional, that is northern traditional rulers, military, top military officers, security people, that they will come together, do this thing, share the money. So you report to the security, you can't go. The Delegate cannot go and fight this thing. You can only write a report and to the security people. They will allow you that, right to DSS.
So where does that leave the people? If you say, because I think you're painting a picture where you were saying it's just difficulty, as much as they would like to work, but here they are hands tied because of the web of corruption.
The answer will soon come, because even the common northerners, their eyes are opening. Even the religious leaders in the north, they are exposing themselves as people who can easily be bribed. Integrity has been. Don't worry, things will unless Tinubu wakes up, like taking a cue from what is happening in Kenya. You don't have to wait till things get to that stage. Sit down, think up things, and do it. You don't have to wait. You understand? You don't have to wait to enforce these things and get this country, but that's why we are elected. But you don't, it might get to that stage, and it doesn't help anybody.
Okay. So I guess we're just going to wait for the government to do something then eventually.
No, what I'm saying, it will come to a stage where the people will rise up. But before then, government should do something. Should enforce this thing, get our money back, use this money for the country.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much for calling. You're on the sunny side, and welcome. I have actually just ended up screen grabbing all the headlines, and I'm just going to put them on my Twitter page just so that you can follow through. I'm referencing private aircraft used for money laundering and drug trafficking in Nigeria. That's by Festus Keyamo, right? Now you have the military today reporting elites frustrating efforts to stop foreigners from mining in Nigeria. And then, of course, Solid Minerals and Development Minister Dede Alake saying, powerful Nigerians. Now, so here I think we're trying to establish the fact that the government knows these people. Authorities know these people. The question is, here you are, there they are. On the sunny side, we're talking. It's Open Thought Tuesday on Nigeria Info. Welcome. So good to have you join the conversation. Thank you. Turn up the volume of your radio set.
Sorry, yeah. Good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon to you.
Kenyan is my name.
Good to have you.
Yeah, Joyce, yeah, this topic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just crying inside my heart now.
Okay.
Honestly, every day we keep on hearing one story or the other. In fact, before, people are just blaming this government. They were thinking that maybe this or maybe that.
Okay.
But now that we have known what they are doing, we have already known what. But there's nothing like suspecting. It is not confirmed that they don't want anything good for us. Okay, now this government have negotiated with United Arab Emirates to lift the travel ban.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me, most of the elites that remain in this country, most of them, they will leave now. Okay, now when they leave, when all our intelligent people left, it will remain only people that want to eat palliative. You have heard how many load of trailer that is coming to give people palliative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it will remain people that will be collecting palliative. And after that palliative, they will tie them right, they will tie them hands, legs. Nobody will be able to stand up. Okay, now Olimiwa want to sponsor a protest for this country. Well, I was hearing your voice, the other voice note that you said, although you have regretted it, when you say you don't know what people want. Do they want government dashing them one? Because when people are crying, when you not reach your turn, you don't know what people are complaining. You have been complaining. So people think maybe with these people. Now it has reached everywhere. Everybody have known. So I think that what we want now is the way out. The solution. Please, if anybody has a solution, let us bring it on the table so that we know.
You don't have a solution. Oh, that's interesting.
Just I said that I don't know what to say again.
All right. Thank you.
People that have solutions should come to the table. Let us know what to do, please.
Thank you very much for calling, really. I appreciate you. On the sunny side, we're Nigeria Info. It's so good to have you join the conversation. My name's Joyce. What's your name?
Good afternoon, Lady J.
Thank you for calling.
Zuboli calling from Ikorodu.
Good to have you. Go ahead.
Back and forth.
This is not a back and forth. I think this has always been. I'm just once again bringing it to
the fore.
Yeah, to the fore.
The same politicians that have bribed the people that are supposed to enforce the law, allegedly. Now, let me use that word. Are they the same people we want to come and bring them to book? See, in my little head, I'm thinking the person that wants to bring the other politician to book has skeletons in his own cupboard. You snitch on me, I snitch on you. I know your secrets, you know mine. They know these things. They know the solutions. They won't profile it. So if you decide in your mind, okay, we will talk, yeah, because we want things to move rapidly and solutions to come. But then they won't do it. Reason because they all have skeletons in their cupboard. So it's like a vicious circle. They are all aware of what happens if you come out to say, I have done this. You also, at one time or the other, look at all the people. Who do we even want to point? Who is a saint amongst them? Every day they still pass these recycled looters of our national treasury. Everybody, their hands are stained, all of them. No one is singled out. And they still come over and over again, put their children. What is even worrisome now is if you look at the judiciary presently, They didn't ask for increments. They were given 300% increments. They didn't ask for new house, and even if they asked, it was not heard. We didn't hear it. But they were giving houses. They are building their houses presently. Most of them didn't ask for this thing, but they are giving all these things for a job well done, for what they have done, and what they are still going to do if we remain docile in 2027. So we all know these things. We will talk. Right. We won't stop talking. Do we have actions to back it up? When that time comes, nobody will push a Nigerian to lift a finger, because every Nigerian will be out there on the streets fighting for his or her rights.
Thank you very much for calling. The Sunny Side is so good to have you on Nigeria Info. Welcome to the show. Nobody can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, good afternoon. Yes, I can. Just speak up for us a little bit, okay?
Okay, good afternoon. This is Yinka from Ikorodu.
Okay, Yinka.
Yeah, my point is this. Few days ago, I went to buy sand in Ikorodu. The whole places is filled with China. It's Chinese. They are the one doing all the mining here. So to me, I was like, does it mean that there is no Nigerian that can do this mining work of a thing? Why is it China everywhere? All of them fill everywhere with police and army guiding them.
Oh.
What is happening in Nigeria? Come to Ibeshe precisely in Ikorodu. It's Chinese everywhere. Why have Nigerian leaders choose to carry the Nigerian thing?
Oh, I lost you. I was just about to ask, what do you know that they are mining? And maybe that, well, I don't know if that's under government control, but I'd like for you to call back if you can. It's on his side. You're listening to Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, Joyce.
Afternoon. Thank you very much for calling the Sunny Side. What's your name?
Johnson from Kenya.
Good, Johnson. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Joyce, we must talk. It's a must that we talk about. People are saying that our talk doesn't mean anything. We never try, but we have to keep trying. The problem we are having is when you start programming, I will just be listening to our people. The way people are talking, that is our problem. I want to ask you one question, please. Is that our leaders, are they listening to radio stations?
I wouldn't know.
Because if they are listening to us, that means we are the ones that are giving them power to behave the way we are behaving. Because one person will call, he will say they use strife, they use religion, they use wanting to divide us, and they are hearing. So they will believe that we can't do nothing because we believe that they have already won us. But as I'm talking to you now, if everybody stand and say, this year, this month, this week, we are going to take what belongs to us in this country today, to this week, this month, this year, they will get up. They will say, these people are serious. All of them are speaking the one voice. For a situation where this one will come, we say, this one use Igbo, this one use Yoruba, this one use Hausa, this one, and all those talk, all those statements will make them to have that courage that we cannot do anything. That is why Buhari used wisdom to tell our youth that they are lazy, not that we cannot farm, not that we cannot carry firewood, but because we cannot wake up to do what we're supposed to do. That is the problem. Nobody divides us. It is we, the electorate. It is we, the followers, that don't know what to do. That is why these people are using us like fools. And that is what we are. We need to wake up.
Thank you. 99.3 Nigeria Info, the Sunny Side. So I'm going to go off on a break, a very short break. When I come back, I'm going to be reading messages. I have one here from Anderson from VGC. I have another here from Aya. So when we return, I'll read it. You're listening to Nigeria Info. My name's Joyce.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
The I Beg to Differ tournament, the Nationals, is coming. August 12th in Lagos. Witness the brightest minds from across the country in a battle of intellect and eloquence.
Have you ever wondered if controlling resources will be the key to dismantling?
Yes, a child has not been properly academically satisfied.
Has such person not also get experience, like your fifth point?
Experience fierce competition.
Peace cannot be kept by force. It's not because there's natural resources there.
persuasive arguments,
I believe that through a balanced approach to religion and education.
Don't you think that such a person is old enough to decide?
and innovative thinking.
By 1985, the poverty level was below 46%.
If they don't have money for tuition, are you saying they are not going to be accountable?
Whether you're a debater or a spectator, mark your calendars for August 12, 2024. I beg to differ. The Nationals in Lagos, Nigeria. Get ready to be part of history. For sponsorship and other inquiries, call Lagos Larry Griffin 0706 827 1163, Shola Kolade 0907 173 3835, or send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. I beg to differ students debates competition. The Tournament of Champions.
Let us dive into the heart of global affairs.
We go beyond the headlines and into the real stories shaping our world.
Why pay more than $200 million to have 1,000 Kenyan soldiers come to Haiti when we could use that money to train the police?
What you've done with your grief is actually to spread it and give it and turn it into the love.
This served Netanyahu because he didn't think Hamas would ever be a serious military threat.
Congo is a country with so much wealth. The people have been fighting to regain control.
From the corridors of power to the front lines of change, Borderline brings you in with analysis of the issues.
The U.S. has power over them. Most of them will steal money from Haiti and invest in the U.S.
Of people who support Sonko and Jumai 5, over half of them don't have a voter's card.
Sounds like Nigeria.
Join Ireti Bakari Yusuf on Borderlines as she engages with policymakers and thought leaders,
giving you perspectives and insights you won't find anywhere else.
Be part of the conversation. Join us live.
Your voice matters on Borderlines as we explore the complexities.
Every Friday at 4 p.m.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Stay informed, stay engaged.
Step into the conversation.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. Anderson from VGC. One of APC's strategic propaganda is the feedback you're getting from Dele Alake and FK. No powerful cartel or cabal in Nigeria can be more powerful than a man who, even when he was not in power, imposed a president on Nigerians. Then rose up and told Nigerians that Emilio Con look and behold, he grabbed the power. So which other cartel or cabal are we waiting to expose? Is only a propagandist strategy. Okay, so here is one opinion that suggests, is there any other cabal than that which may appear to have been a political, well, he was called a strategist, which now, of course, is a Nigerian president. Well, so the difficulty of this is, the difficulty of this is that the government's aware. And what I don't know is why they wouldn't do something about such an obvious fact. And on the sunny side, we're trying to make sense of it on Open Thought Tuesday. Okay. Why wouldn't it play? Oh, there you go. We're back, and let me read this message here. This is Ayo. Ayo says, Sunnyside, those fighting corruption are more corrupt than those they are fighting. We need to have functional systems and institutions. They have less human interface. You say we need to have functional systems and institutions that have less human interface. These are what developed countries are exploiting. I hope one day it will be Eureka. That's the thing. You see, you walk out your salvation. It's not going to be a heaven handed over to you. It's not going to be a utopia. It's not going to be Eureka. You have to work out your salvation. And we're hoping that the state government can give us a state that it's governed by rules and laws and principles and justice and uprightness. But it doesn't quite appear that our expectations are being met. Good. Let's grant a blanket amnesty to any politician who's still alive, valid for 365 days, and has gained corruptly. And this country, after... hold on. Wait, I'm not even sure what this is. Do I have a minute? It's actually almost 2 p.m. Let's grant a blanket amnesty to any politician who is still alive, valid for 365 days, and has gained corruptly from this country. After which, whoever doesn't turn him or herself in will face death penalty. Maybe this can work. Shola from Badagry. You see, power is not something that you how did the president put it? Let's make him a mentor this very moment. Power is not given to you. You may need to learn from your own president. You take it, you grab it, you run with it. 2 p.m.
It's 2 o'clock.
The headline news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Here are the headlines. Governor Sanwo-Olu splashes 427.7 million naira on core members and 100 million naira for National Youth Service Corps. Some Lagos transport workers in Shasha, Idimu, Ejigbo, and Ikotun areas protest alleged extortion and harassment by officials of Operation Mesa. While federal government repatriates 190 Nigerians from United Arab Emirates, Nigerians to obtain United Arab Emirates visas with non-refundable fee after vetting. Nigeria plans budget to finance new minimum wage. Federal government releases 2024 National Common Entrance Examination results for Unity schools. Federal government denies plan to hand over public universities to private investors. Federal government sets to distribute 740 trucks of rice to 36 states and FCT. Kano State House of Assembly passes bill to create second-class emirates. While on the foreign scene, Rwanda President Kagame extends his 24-year rule by another 5 years in landslide victory. Former U.S. President Trump picks Senator J.D. Vance as running mate. High-profile North Korean diplomat attached to embassy in Cuba defects to South Korea. Pakistan says 4 Pakistanis were killed in shooting near Shia Mosque in Oman's capital, Muscat, while Afghan bus crash killed 17 people, leaving 34 others injured. Those are the headlines. This is The Sunny Side with Joyce. I am Ivana Haifu. You're listening to 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Different ideologies.
I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. My daughter is giving me hell. What happened? She always go out with friends. I put her in a place of where she's learning a trade. I called the woman and said, please, treat this girl as your stepdaughter.
Intelligent conversations.
Always interesting.
So engaging.
Sometimes even mind-boggling.
Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. Ask everyone. Anyone.
99.3 Nigeria Info, the sunny side. I think from what I've gathered the last 1 hour, Nigerians are still expecting and hope that the government would assume responsibility. And many of you have injected the possibility that the ones in charge of authority are facing the devil in a hard place. So maybe carrying out what they know to be just and fair may be difficult because of the web of corruption in Nigeria. But when you have a sovereign state and state authority admits that there are challenges in the system and does nothing, well, there we are, because it's obvious you don't even have answer to that question. Well, let's try another question here. I'm retaining Vaughn because I have a question for her. I want to know the news that you have, Vaughn, on this. I guess Nigerians should be excited, except the money may not make us too excited. This UAE ban lifted for Nigerians? What do you know?
Well, we know that in as much as the ban has been lifted, there are requirements that Nigerians will have to follow judiciously,
which wasn't a requirement before.
Not
necessarily
as
stringent
thick or as stringent as the requirements are now.
So what?
For instance, Nigerians will have to show proof of funds of about 10,000 US dollars.
16 million naira.
That's approximately 60 million naira.
So certainly this is not even going to be a holiday trip for the average.
It's
or
not
the
for
poor.
the average.
Like if you had an ambition to see the world, backpack and live on little means, this is not for you.
Probably try Ghana, not the UAE.
Good, exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Even Ghana now is not even that.
Even Ghana now is...
Okay.
So, of course, you have to provide a valid document verification number from the website, proof of bank accounts, which we have stated earlier, round trip flight tickets. So they have to see that you plan to come back to your country.
Yeah.
Round trip. There is no one-way ticket. It has to be round trip flight ticket. Proof of hotel booking, because they don't want you going to their country.
And you're on the street.
Exactly. And of course, the proof of hotel booking must have been confirmed and paid for.
Okay.
Ahead of the travel. And of course, the visa fee must be paid by credit card at the UAE Visa Center in Abuja, Nigeria. Now, I don't know if they were paying by cash before or by debit card, but...
Yeah, because usually as Nigerians, what we use the most is a debit card.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now that they're demanding credit card, we don't know how...
A credit card?
That's going to play out for the average Nigerian that just wants to go and see the UAE.
The question is, what do you want to see? Because certainly this doesn't look attractive. Okay, so let's see. Credit cards are a way of borrowing money for hopefully short periods of time. So now that's the thing. With the Nigerian CBN restrictions, the credit card is not going to be something accessible. I don't think it is accessible to the average common Nigerian. It would have to be in a said economic... one time during cash scarcity, I was at a bank and a gentleman walked in. And he was approached by... that was the first time I even heard it. I must have assumed it's in the past, but that was the first time I saw it. Young guy, probably like almost 40. Slender, lean. Comes and look fresh.
I money.
Well,
a bit of money.
I didn't pay too much. He looked like a fresh guy. And when you see money too much... it doesn't become a means of judgment anymore. Because sometimes you see money and it don't look like money. Sometimes you see money, it's like... Sometimes you see some people like, you look like you have money, but you don't.
They're not.
Okay, so I just see the fresh guy, and it was the statement from the staff when I approached her table for a bank transaction. And she said something. I was like, I want money. And she's like, we have a limit. And I said, okay, just give me whatever you have. And then she said something. And I asked her a question like, why? Who? I can't remember what she asked me. And I said, why? Who? And she says, the gentleman over there. He is priority. He's a priority client. I just looked back and I just saw the 35-year-old guy. So apparently in Nigeria today... There are some things that would happen, and then there are some good old regular Nigerians who are priority clients, who are just priority bankers. So because of that, the cash he got was not what every other person got. Yes. And I thought, there's really inequality in this. There's serious inequality.
In every facet of our society in this country, there is.
There is.
Including in worship centers.
And it's fun because it's instituted inequality.
Yes.
And I think it's subtle. It's like you have to get into the system to really see it. It's subtle, but there is actually inequality. Okay, so here we are. The UAE has now introduced another level of inequality. Or maybe the Nigerian government didn't negotiate fair enough, enough.
I would say that. I would say,
Or maybe the UAE were totally reluctant. They had probably just looked at how much Nigerians were bringing into their economy and how much they stood to lose for all the noise that we make and just realized this is something the nanny of my grandson would have spent in the economy anyways. So why have Nigerians in here to pollute the system or to stress us any more than the Americans already do? Yeah, because I don't think we're the worst, but I don't know what it is that puts us in this very difficult situation.
I would think it's the
Pakistanis
and of course the government.
Okay, so now
because I doubt that these requirements are demanded of neighboring countries like Ghana, for example, or other African countries, maybe say South Africa, for example, But when it's Nigeria, it's always, it's always, and people would argue that it is because the reputation that we have precedes us as a country, as a people.
Well, I think you can actually walk into any bank and really get credit card. It's just whether...
Do you have the kind of money?
Yeah, do you have the kind of money?
That is required to
640 non-refundable. For you to put that on any table anywhere.
Non-refund, that's 700,000 naira, Joyce.
For you to put that on any table anywhere, non-refundable.
Then you should be able to afford a credit card.
Then your daddy, who's your daddy? All right, so there we go. Thank you so much for that information. Lagos, then let's talk about this because I wanted to talk about the rice. What is with Nigeria and alms-giving type of governance? Why? What is with this? Open your hand. Take a few grains. You're not going to die. I mean, you're going to die, but not today. I want to talk about that. We've spoken about this in one context before, the distribution of palliatives. And here, we hear all 36 state governors and the FCT are to receive 740 trucks of rice. Is it because you guys have complained about rice the most? Because at this point, okay, let's see whether we can run through that message. 740 trucks of rice from the federal government. The governors are expected to distribute the rice to vulnerable Nigerians in their states. Are you a vulnerable Nigerian?
No.
Oh. Are you a vulnerable Nigerian?
No.
I'm a vulnerable Nigerian because if I wanted to go to the UAE, I'd have to pay 640,000 non-refundable. That's vulnerability. And so 740 trucks of rice. And let's see. This means that each of the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory will receive 20 trucks. Oh, hold on a second. The collective number is 740. Each state will receive 20 trucks of rice. Each truck will carry approximately 1,200, that's 25 kg rice, totaling 24,000 bags of rice per state. 24,000 bags of rice per state. Okay. We'll talk about this rice and your love for rice, because at this point, someone is really picking signals from your body language. We'll talk about your love for rice tomorrow. Today, let's talk about this ban that's been lifted. And I think it's a good thing because now if you have money, you can go. But do you think that this was done taking the average Nigerian into consideration? I want to quickly share with you what's in the news. Now, it's not just the hike in fees. It's also every other thing that goes into this requirement. For example, a bank statement of $10,000. It wasn't this expensive before. Initially it was $100. Then about 150,000 for your application fee. But now it's 640,000 naira fee that does not guarantee a visa to UAE. Let's talk on Nigeria Info. 0201-2770-993. 0201-465-7190. The latter number is for the ladies, and I'd like to know what you think. It does quite appear that travel around Nigeria, in Nigeria, the concept of travel is perceived luxury, and it shouldn't be. Traveling should not be perceived as luxury. It is when you induce poverty that one begins to assume that if a person is going overseas, then they must have money. Have you seen the way Americans travel? Backpackers now. So I've been in different countries where I see some Europeans or Americans come by and they come back with one small bag on their back, and they've been to 16 countries and they're practically wearing 2 shirts, 2 jeans, or 3 shirts, 3 jeans, nothing. They're not buying anything. They're just traveling the world, documenting, learning, meeting people, discovering. That's what they're doing.
Not like adventure.
It's an adventure. It's a way to live. It's you live, you move around culture, you experience culture, you learn language, you meet people, you discover something, you leave something, you learn something, and then you move on. So travel is not supposed to be luxury. It is that we have so cultivated the mentality of poverty in this country that we have suggested to ourselves that to travel is luxury. Shouldn't be. It's because of poverty. The sunny side. Nigeria info. There's too much to talk about. And I guess that's probably one of the things that qualifies you as a Nigerian. So much talk. On Nigeria info, we're talking. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Joyce. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for calling the sunny side. Turn up the volume of your radio set.
Yeah, I've done that. Thank you so much, Joyce, for all your programs and all your inputs. It's such a great delight to listen to you, at the back end of the radio. And
thank you.
Watch you just dish out these, lovely ideas and solutions to the problem we have in our country. Joyce, you are one in a million. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whenever I visit the station, I'll make sure I bring you a bottle of champagne. I promise you. Whenever I come there, I make sure I give you deserve more than that. Okay. Back to the topic of discourse. Joyce, I think there's something I perceive in this new development from the UAE. I know they know Nigerians travel a lot, and I know they also know that we spend so much money wherever we travel to, and they also make so much money from Nigerians who come to the UAE, in time just because of celebration of wedding or birthdays or whatever it is. They spend lavishly without even having a control over the resources because the money you didn't work for it. If you have worked for it, you plan your schedule, you plan your visit, you plan everything you want to plan. Because even the whites that are going to other countries, they use almost a year to plan their vacation. And I don't know why you see a boy of 18 years and all of a sudden he just jet out of this country and will just start spending they know Nigerians have this money they want to throw around, and they believe that they are also in, at least they should come to their country and spend spend that money. And this money you can't account for it. They don't account for it. They just come,
Yeah. So how does this affect this new policy now? This new law?
Yeah. The policy, I think what they're trying to do now, because even if before it was 150,000 and now is about 600,000. Now, what they are trying to do is this. They know Nigerians don't even mind if they make it 1 million and just find their way out of the country.
Okay.
They believe that we have the money.
Okay.
They believe that we can go to any land to get the visa. And that's why you have seen them now. To just watch other countries now. If UAE can tell you to get their visa, you're going to spend 600,000 naira to get a visa. Watch out other countries.
Okay.
They are watching. They are going to see if Nigerians will say no to this new development.
Or pay for it.
It is good. It is good Nigerians said no. We can't. This is too much. From 150 to 600,000 is too much. But the elite will not say anything because they are looking. They want the place they can go to with their families and their cohort and just spend this money because they have it in excess and they don't even have anything they're doing with the money. Money is just there lying fallow. So what we Nigerians should do, if actually we want to go with this, we can.
Would you pay 640,000 non-refundable to go to the UAE?
It's not refundable.
Would you pay that?
I wouldn't pay that.
All right.
Wouldn't.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you.
I do appreciate. The sunny side. Welcome to a now new update for all Nigerians who have waited on the government to properly negotiate on their behalf with the UAE. The story in the air, it's now 640,000 Nigerian naira. Non-refundable. Would you pay? The sunny side. It's good to have you here. Turn up the volume of your radio set.
Sorry, you have someone on the line.
Welcome, Sam.
Please,
640,000.
I want you to help me real quick. Maybe I didn't hear it very well. You are saying 640,000 non-refundable?
Oh, sure.
To travel to UAE?
Yeah.
To do what?
I mean, the sun there hits different. I hear it's slave heat out there. So maybe the sun is something you miss.
No. But to me, I think I would still want a federal government to do more on that.
So do what exactly? Better, negotiate downwards?
Yeah.
Or?
Yes, it's better they leave it. After all, since it's been closed for a while, I mean, it has never added, nor even probably, removed from the status quo. Okay, Nigerians that are going, they know how they find their road there, and they have been going. But you telling us now to pay 640,000 because the point there is that the fact remains that whether anybody, agree with my opinion or not, this is going to boil out, it's going to haunt us back, in social economic way. What I mean is that, fine, for people probably maybe going there for businesses, for whatever things and other, all these monies are going to be factored in whatever goods and products they bring it and route this UAE, direct link. You understand? So that's what I'm saying. I feel like we need to calm down. Fine, a lot of people will agree to, okay, fine, we'll have a direct access to go at any point in time. Okay, but then, what about this money? Nothing, there is no free lunch anywhere. Anybody that afford paying this or that said, okay, what is even 640,000? Definitely one way or the other, I'll see the spread across. We just like what we are saying, we bring the goods from north before you get to the south here, one Agbero, one tax officer. This will be factored on the end users. So the 640,000 is going nowhere. There is no free lunch. Somebody will have to pay for it. On whatever, there is a consequential effect on this thing, especially on socio-economic, doing it that we already had here in Nigeria. So it's just beyond, okay, fine, I can afford it. I'm not talking about affordability right now, but I think we need to go beyond that. Federal government need to look into that. What actually brought about, 640,000 non-refundable here? Despite the fact that we are being on, loggerhead for like almost 3 years ago. So if this could not be addressed, then that means this is not yet been perfectly done.
Thank you very much for calling. I appreciate. Welcome to the show. Well, I guess this is good news. This is good news for all Nigerians.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon to you.
This is Pastor Badamasi from Surulere.
Thank you.
Can I continue?
Tell us your name. What's your name?
I said Pastor Badamasi from Surulere.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much for calling. Please
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You see, it is the craze. What are they looking for in Dubai?
Why not?
What are Nigerians looking for in Dubai?
The sun.
If you can afford to put 650,000 naira, non-refundable, that's not a good money. That's stolen money. It's stolen money. There's nothing like that. You see, people just steal money and they steal money to go to those places. In those days, 1970s, never like that. 1970s, 1980s, never like that. They are seeing Nigerians. Those Nigerians, they are not good. We are not good. I tell you the truth, we are not good.
Why? Is it because we're... Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
We are not good. When we go there, we bring out our craze.
So you think this is a measure to limit the amount of Nigerians?
All sorts of things they do there.
Oh, so this is...
This is like a deterrent.
Oh, this is a deterrent. Okay, so
it's a deterrent. Don't come to our country again. Stay in your country. So anybody who goes there to pay